You could play your video games on a console, you could play it on a computer, you could even play on a Game Boy.
And now you can even play most of your collection anywhere.
Which is why I'm here, to let you know the steamy details before you buy that Steam Deck OLED and waste all of your precious moolah. So what do you get for that amount of cash? You get a 512 gigabyte version and a 1 terabyte version at $550 and $650 US dollars, respectively. The difference there is pretty much just the storage until you go to other options that are now being offered. The LCD one is still available for much less of a cost, but you don't get that sweet new panel. Before we get into the video, down in the description in the pinned comment is who won the last MiiU Mini Plus. We are still giving away an RGB 30, so all you have to do to win is be subscribed, and in the next video I will be putting in the pinned comment who won that device. Back to that fantastic OLED HDR screen. Looking at the device, you have your basic controller layouts. This model also has a transparent case and some sweet orange accents that come on the limited edition Steam Deck OLED that I have here. I think it's very cool. Speaking of coldness, they actually changed a few things to make the device itself run a little bit thermally cooler, and that means quieter and less fan noise too. So the back of it actually doesn't get really hot anymore, and the top of it, while it does pump out a lot of heat, it doesn't pump out nearly as much heat anymore on this new revised edition. That's due in part to the screen being a little bit thinner, in addition to the screen taking up less power and having a bigger battery. So this revision really is just more quality of life upgrades to the device versus the beginning ones. Now, it's like the Steam Deck doesn't look like it lost weight, but it did. It's like that person who went and got really thin over the winter and then comes down to the beach on summer break and is just ripped. That's what it feels like, because the same shape of the device is exactly the same as the other one. So none of the accessories are going to be different, but it does feel lighter, but the materials feel the same. It's cool. It's a very interesting upgrade, because normally you change sizes or something. This really hasn't changed size at all. Now that it has its summer bod it's always wanted, let's get a ticket to the gun show.
You could use this thing to kill mountains of Vortigons in the first Half-Life game, or you could use it to do other mountainous things.
This thing can play a mountain of games. Any of the AAA titles coming out are generally pre-approved for the Steam Deck now, or pre-tested and get stamped with the Valve verified stamp before it comes out, because now people know it's going to be played on the deck. And this software is Linux based, so not all Windows games would play on this, but now that the deck's been out for a while, it's actually looking even better for the Steam Deck OLED, because people have been churning through their games trying to get them verified to play on the deck.
Which is exciting, because that means all of these different software developers know that the Steam Deck exists and Valve is supporting their overlay for all the sorts of games. So before you even launch your game, you can actually have a Steam Deck profile built into it, just like an Xbox profile, or how the developers know that when you're developing a game for a Sony console, the controller may have this cool function built in, and you want to take advantage of that maybe in your software.
This can also run different apps like Google Chrome and Discord and a few other different things, because this is really just a laptop with a controller just glued to the side to it. And with that awesome controller, you get all these different layouts to work with the different types of games and different interactions you're actually trying to do with the device, where Steam's really just prompting you to do that. So when you click on, say, an emulator, and you say, hey, I want this to emulate specifically Game Boy Advance controls, route the Steam's overlay to do that, which is really nice. Emulation is an entire topic for a whole nother video that I'll be having coming up soon, so subscribe down below if you don't want to miss that one. Because there are a ton of quality of life upgrades that have been done to the EmuDeck software over the last year. What are some of the things that I like about the Steam Deck? It's awesome. It is really just a laptop in a different form factor, and that is why I think so many people are excited for it. It can do everything a laptop can do. It's the basic software, but Steam took the initiative and made the front end, and that front end is the Steam Deck OS. That is the software and the cream in this special cookie, and why people like this so much, because that makes it so easy to play. Being able to load up whatever software you want, press A, and it just works is incredible.
Well, there goes our grant money.
Some of the things I don't like. There are more expensive options now, which I think more of a range is a better thing, but when you make the mid-range offering a little more expensive, people kind of feel left out when everything isn't all just the same price. I do get why they do it, but that could be a negative for some people. This device is also large. It fits in my hands very well, but I can also grip a basketball. If your hands are a little bit smaller, you may have a hard time gripping the deck completely. Another dislike of mine is the Linux-based operating system. There are just some anti-cheats that people are lazy and are not going to port over to Linux to have their games run on the Steam Deck or any Linux software to begin with. Stuff like Destiny will not play natively on here. You will have to stream that through a service. GeForce Now, which is expensive, that's kind of where that is. It's tough, but the anti-cheats won't be ported over, or I don't think there's enough of a player base or a care to do that in the market. So games that just don't have updates for Linux probably just won't ever get ported over the deck, which is sad because I play a lot of Destiny. This brings us to another point of the video, which is competition. The competition over the last year has gotten very steamy, and yes, I'm going to keep using that. The ROG Ally, the Lenovo Legion Go, the Logitech G Cloud. These are a few different devices that have tried to snake some business away from the Steam Deck. Some of them are streaming devices, some of them are Windows handheld devices that are expensive, do a very high-end job of emulating AAA games. So, personally, I think if you're watching this and you're looking to decide between those devices, I think for me, the deciding factor is the software. All of them are around the same price. Lenovo Legion Go and ROG Ally are a little more expensive, but they have a higher pixel count screen. Lenovo Legion Go has a bunch of other slide-on options with a mouse thingy, and I didn't buy that one and test that one, so I don't really know, but from looking at some videos, it seems like that's a Windows-based device that you are basically looking at as it's basically the Ally with some other gimmicks. And they just cranked out this bad boy with the HDR OLED screen. Pretty hard to go away from this thing. The software just really makes it easy. You could pick up, play, and get into gaming instantly, and it feels like a Nintendo DS. You flip it open, it's on, ready to play. Versus those other devices where you have Windows to interface with, and that's kind of the problem I see, is you have to deal with Windows or Android. You have to deal with that. There's a front end and it's not designed for that. This port of Linux was designed to be this. So for me, I think those are good devices. I think if you want more information, I have a few videos down in the description saying what they are and I think what they're good for. But for me, I think the Steam Deck's the way to go, especially with the different price ranges, because you get the same operating system, which the operating system for me is just the ease of use. That's what I like. So we do have plenty of other videos on the way. And if you'd like to see some more about the history of the Steam Deck or the ROG Ally, maybe check out one of these videos, because they're here, they're free, and free to watch. Clickable, but yet potable? Ah yes, that's all I have. Talk to you soon. Davey out.